Hey YouTubers, KK Fan 9 here. What's going on? And we got a special car repair for you today. 2005 Ford Focus ZX4. Yes, the car that I inherited from Dad. And today I'm going to teach you how to fix the sway bar links on your Ford Focus. Now the first thing that you want to do, obviously, is you got to take your tire off. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take your, I believe it's a 19 millimeter that I used, 19 millimeter. If you've got that four-way lug wrench, or if you got a breaker bar and a socket, just take your 19 millimeter, put it on there, and break it. See, I've got the car already up on jack stands, but like I said, you're gonna want to do all that. Don't take it out all the way completely, because that would be a bad day. If you take all the lug nuts out and the tire falls off the wheel hub and all that, that's not a good day. So first thing you do, crack those loose, then put a jack and jack stands underneath the car and support it, and then that way you can spin them completely off. And in my case, I've already done that. So, and we're gonna place the tire right over here. Third step, now that you are in, you are probably here because of the sway bar and you're hearing noise. You're probably hearing lots of noise every time you go over even the slightest ditch, like the slightest bump, hump, and fucking abscess in the road. I know that's what mine's doing, and it's coming from this right front here. So actually, when you do that, this right here is your sway bar link, and it goes right down. You can see I've already loosened it up. But a tip, the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a number 5 Allen key and stick it right on the inside here. Stick that right on the inside, and then get a 15 millimeter wrench and stick it on like that. The first thing you want to do before you do anything is put some like penetrating oil on it or anything. I didn't actually do that, and it was a bitch to get out because this is a 2005, so it's got a little bit of rust and gunk on the threads. But yeah, that's what you're gonna want to do. And actually, what I found easier is I actually took this apart before I even learned this, and I'm doing it now. The helpful tip is put a jack stand under where you jack the car up, and then use your jack. I've just got a Craftsman floor jack, 2 1/4 ton. I stuck it under the ball joint. You see it's right under the ball joint there. Take it and unload, quote unquote, technically the suspension's under a load, but unload the suspension. What it is that when you have your car jacked up like this, it's actually hanging, the sway bar is actually very, very tight. It's because the suspension is on full unload. So you load it up, and the sway bar is actually really loose in there right now. So that was just a tip that I thought I could throw in there, and it's a good tip because I had a bitch of a time trying to get it out, and then I thought of this idea. So yeah, put your suspension on a load, and then you can spin this off or whatever. It actually makes it quite easier. Well, we got her out now. Just a little bit of a clearance on that last point where I said to jack the ball joint up and take the weight off. Don't do that, because it makes taking the damn sway bar link a big pain in the ass to unbolt and shit. So it's actually easier to let the suspension hang and do the hex key and wrench thing, and then once you can get it loose and you get the nut off, then take the jack and jack it up, and then you just slides right out. But here it is. It's rainy and crappy outside. I fucking hate it. It's not like it could be sunny and say, hey, we can let him work on his car before he takes it down to freaking Charlotte for a 1,500 mile trip. No, it's got to be rainy and crappy and everything on his, only day off before vacation. So, and I actually noticed that these are shot. They are shot. I mean, you can barely even hear the grease in there. I don't even think there's grease in there. But they're not supposed to move like this at all. They're supposed to be really, really, really firm. I guess you could say. Supposed to be really firm, kind of like a trying to think, like a engine mount kind of thing, where you know it has like a little bit of movement, but not a whole lot. But yeah, that was causing it. That was what was causing that noise. Because every time, and I'm gonna try and put a demonstration. When your sway bar link is in like this, and what's not wrong is the link itself isn't bad. It's the bushing itself that loses grease and starts wearing out. That's what's bad. But once the bushing wears out, it's not supposed to have a whole lot of movement. And you can see, obviously, you know, I don't have my sway bar fully connected, but you know, when you start hitting bumps and stuff, it's gonna start popping. It moves very slightly, but when you're going up and down on the suspension, it starts making a popping noise because it's still tight. Like the bolts are still tight, obviously, so it's gonna start making a popping sound. And even if it's like even if it is like a slight bump or crack or bruise, zit, boil in the road, that's what you're hearing. So yeah, off to the parts store. So here's the part in all its glory. It's a Duralast. I know it's not a Moog. I've heard a lot of good stuff about the Moog part, but I didn't want to spend 30 bucks on one sway bar link. So here it is. If I can, this thing is zoomed way the frick in. This thing is zoomed way in. There it is. Alright. So here it is. The sway bar link. And the first thing that you'll notice, you know how there's so much play in the other one? I mean, that's how it should be. Very, very, very solid. So that's how you could tell that was worn out. Pretty much the same design. You stick the hex key in there, and it's got the bolts. The bolts are right over here in the packaging. They're the cheaper ones because they're the non-serviceable ones. Hold up right there. I lied to you. Those are the serviceable ones. Clearly you can see that. Again, my mistake. Do as I say, not as I do. Now on with the show. They're the non-serviceable, you know, the non-greasable fittings. So, which is fine with me because I really, you know, I need the car to go down to Charlotte. So yeah, this is the part in all its glory. Now it's time to go home and put her back together. And we're done. Sway bars all in. I didn't put the grease fittings in, but I'm going to. I will put those grease fittings in very soon. I guess the installation was reverse of the take apart. I took the brake line clip out here. I gotta put that shit back in. Come on. There we go. But yep, I actually found it easy. I I put the sway bar link in on one side and jacked the ball joint up so that, you know, I could get it in, and I tightened it finger tight. And then, you know, you're still gonna need the 5 ratchet, the number, or not the ratchet, but the number 5 hex key. Just tighten it down, you know, snug, and then let the jack down and let it, you know, get to its full extension, I guess is what you want to call it. And then yeah, and then tighten it all the way down. I don't know the torque specs, and I have to look that up, but there she is. She's installed. Very nice. And while you're in here, you might as well check all your tie rods, your CV boot, you know, your control arm bushings. Everything that's pretty well in here, you might as well check it anyways. And don't do as I say, not as I do, because I'm only replacing this side. Always replace them in pairs, because more than likely if one side's going, the other side's going to go too very soon. So, but just for now, just to, I may or may not replace the other one today. I'm definitely going to replace it soon. But now you just simply put the tire back on and lower the car and take her for a test drive. And if the sound goes away, then you have just successfully completed repairing the sway bar end link on your 2005 Ford Focus. Thanks for watching.